of people who might be on this platform. So we might have to just make sure that everyone gets an opportunity to share and ask their question and contribute and do all that. Is there anything else that you think we should pay attention to, maybe as a guide as we move along?
Not really from my side.
Okay, Mary, you're saying?
Not really from my side.
Okay, so nothing else. Ambrose?
No, I was saying that we have a lot of interruptions of internet, so people could follow on audio so that we don't keep going on and off.
Sure, that's important.
You want us to go on audio?
No, I'm saying that if you're having challenges with the video, you can still be able to follow the discussion.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So yeah, what he's saying is so because of the internet challenge, some of us might not be able to have video and audio at the same time. So you can feel free to just put off the video so that at least you're able to follow through. And that, as you also do that, if you're not the one speaking, please mute your mic. I don't know if you know. I can see at least Mary has that done. Ambrose has that done. So yeah, so if you just will do that, that will help so that not everyone is talking at the same time, and you can unmute maybe when we call you to speak, or when you want to share, you unmute yourself and go ahead, so that at least we can listen to one person at a go. Great. Anything else, Sibongile, that we need to pay attention to before you take us to the expectations for this class?
No, I think that's essentially it. I hope you've got something to write with, and I hope that you've all managed to watch the video that was done by Elaine. So, because this is where we're going to take off from. Are we all on the same page? Okay. All right. Yes. Fantastic. Fantastic. I think to start off with, what exactly do you think what are your expectations for this mastermind today? What do you hope to gain from today?
I want to discover myself.
Discover yourself. Okay. Thanks, Rhoda.
Mary?
Well, that's Mary.
Yeah.
Well,
oh, that was
Rhoda.
Mary. Oh, sorry.
No, it was Rhoda. Mary wants to speak.
Okay.
Yeah, myself, I really want to see how to do something. The thing that I would like to do. There are certain things that you would like to do, but you take long to take off, which I think were also emphasized in the video.
Okay.
Setting the goal and seeing that you work towards achieving it amidst all the other things.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Mary. Anyone else?
Is this Ambrose?
Yes, Ambrose.
Yes, I think even setting goals comes with prioritizing, and I would want to understand, how do I prioritize a few goals and be able to push towards achieving them, instead of having so many ideas in my mind that you struggle to achieve and you're not able to do all of them.
Okay. Elvis? Elvis, are you there?
It seems he's not there.
Okay. Are there any other expectations? So we've got 3 expectations: to discover self, taking off, setting of goals, and then prioritizing goals and achieving them. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, to start off with, what really resonated with each of you in terms of when you watched the video? What resonated with you? What was something, what one thing, when you were watching the video, Elaine's video, what one thing came to you and said, well, it was like an aha moment for you?
Mary?
Yes, Mary.
Yeah, for me, I thought it was really touching to see that we should believe in ourselves to be able to do something, and anything is possible and we are able to do it. Mm-hmm. So usually we feel that maybe we are not able, and then you then take off. Believing in yourself to be able to achieve something and working towards it, setting up and do anything, change all your programs so that you are able to achieve whatever you have set, the goals that you have set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yes, this is Ambrose.
Yes, Ambrose.
From what I watched, I realized that so many times we are unable to discover who we are because we keep postponing each and everything. I'll do it tomorrow, next week, I'll do it that time. And so you're unable to bring out the best in you and unable to struggle to achieve that one thing you're supposed to do. So we keep pushing things the next day becomes the next year and forever.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Anyone? Rhoda?
Yes, Rhoda.
Yeah, also shocked by the fact that growth can't just happen. I need to be intentional. I need to do about it. I need to do something about it.
It's like money doesn't grow on trees. Yeah, that's very true. If you don't, is there anyone else who would like to share? Okay, would you mind if I shared a bit about myself? Okay.
Okay.
All right. In terms of my issue of growing, for a very long time, I mean, I went to university, I got a very good job, I had high-flying jobs for quite a while. And I thought that was enough, that I had my master's and that was enough working and whatnot, but something was still missing. And when I left my job, because I wanted now to spend time with my daughter, because I really wasn't spending with my daughter, I found that later as we went through it, I started to lose myself, but I knew there were so many goals that I had, but I was not attaining them because I was always prioritizing other things, the children's school, the whatnot. I wanted to be a coach for many years, but I kept on saying, I can't afford it now, right? But in essence, when I look back, it wasn't that I couldn't afford it, because I could afford it, right? Not that the money was there, but the money we could have managed, but I prioritized other things and other people before myself, right? So my personal goals became on the back burner. And as a result, as a person, I began to die inside, right? And you find that it was only when I decided now and I took a risk on myself, and literally this time we actually didn't have the money for me to be able to get certified under John Maxwell, but I took a risk on myself because at that time I wasn't working. My husband didn't have a contract for about 2 years, and it was just, he's a consultant. But it was either the amount of money I needed to pay to live my dream, to follow my dream, was the same amount that I needed to pay for my daughter's school fees. So now it was literally having to choose between the two. But I chose to go ahead. And once I chose to go ahead, doors opened because I became intentional about myself. I didn't have to use my daughter's school fees. My daughter still went to school. But because I decided to take the step and to take the step in faith in myself, right, in what I wanted to accomplish, I found that as I was doing that, things started opening up for me. And so that is what has been about myself, is that I found as I take each step and I become intentional about what I'm doing, it comes out that I find a lot of doors are opening for me. Right? But when I sit back and I think, oh, it's going to happen tomorrow, oh, I still need to sort out this plan, I've still got to put this in place, things don't move, right? And it's when I just decide I'm walking. I had a conference last week in Malawi where we had budgeted that we were going to have 100 people. Now, unfortunately, it was an executive leadership conference, and the former Reserve Bank governor was my chairperson on this forum. Up until Friday before the event, we only had 5 people registered, right? And the amount of debt that was there was daunting. And I said, maybe we should cancel. But I said, no, we have planned, we have worked on this, we are going to go through it. And lo and behold, by the time we went to the conference, we had over 40 people. You see? Now, I could have allowed the fear a few days before that and cancel it, and I would not have had the impact it had on people and on myself, and the growth that I had from that as a result. So sometimes we also allow fear to hold us back. But when we go and work and say, this is what I'm doing, and yes, the risk is there, but I have faith in what I'm doing, and I know this is the road I'm supposed to be on, everything else opens up. So that's a little bit about my little tell. So what can you tell us from your side that maybe holding you back, or maybe there's a dream that you want, but are failing to take that step, the one step?
Maybe just to break it down, what basically she's asking. I think that's an amazing just story, and I liked at some point you talked about how you chose, and I think as we talk about this first law, the law of intentionality, it just basically captures that one word, chose. It's quite important, because a lot of times we assume things will happen, and we'll look into all those as we look at the traps. But I like the title of the book, leave them and reach your potential. So you get to basically choose by being intentional. And a lot of times we have things we can say they are good intention, things we've always wanted to do. And just to paraphrase what Sibongile was asking, what are those things that you've always wanted to do but you've never done them? Like, it's on top of your mind, you've known all along that I want to do ABC. What is that for you for a long time, or even for just the recent past? Ambrose, Mary, Rhoda, any of you can just jump in and share with us, what is that thing that you've always wanted to do but you've never done it? You can unmute yourself as you talk.
Oh, thank you for the sharing, and I will share something that I've still not done. Yes, apart from what I do, is I've always wanted to be into the music kind of thing, and most importantly, the one I love is playing guitar. And this is something I tried some time back, and I would reach somewhere, and then I drew back to the comfort zone. I enrolled in school, like in the evening classes, even pay the money, and then you say, no, I'm too busy, I'm tired, I have to head back home, I want to go and see my children. And so, yeah, it goes around what achieved. But every time I see somebody playing it, or even pass a shop and say one, get a feeling, come on, I need to do that. But I've not get the real guts to have this start, because I have reason to myself. I live work, I have a family, I have children, I have this, and all this keeps drowning me in the failing to achieve the one thing that I feel I should have done way back. It's a big challenge for me.
And I mean, Ambrose, that's the reality. I mean, we definitely understand, and a lot of us are caught up in, all those dynamics of family and work and all these things. But we know there's this thing we've always wanted to do, but we've not engaged here. So we'll come back to that. Let's hear from Mary and Rhoda. Mary, you're smiling. It's like they're just in your mind.
Yeah, so for me, what quickly comes as she was sharing is we have a school, and I've always wanted like to use part of my expertise from where I work to see how do it's in a local setting, as in a rural setting. So wanting to use part of my expertise to see how do you motivate them. Sometimes they're not working in good conditions. And I think I had started, but what I saw is not what I expected, and I've never risen again. For example, I wanted to, at the end of the term, to appreciate the teachers. So appreciate the teachers, but also use, for example, we have a friend who has a supermarket, and one has a shop for Vaseline and the like. So I was like, okay, I can give this shop some money and have people have coupons, coupons, and just go and shop. You either go to the supermarket. And it turned out that when I left the money wasn't a lot, but I thought people would just go and pick, pick a coupon, go and pick something. You could pick your 2 kilos of sugar, or go and pick oil for your hair or something like that. And guess what happened? They said, we want the money. They divided the money and they did not buy, and it just discouraged me. But that is something that I feel, how do I use the potential that I have gotten this side? You are in a project, it's well facilitated and it's there to motivate, but what can I use for these people who are in a rural setting? So every time I remember how they divided the money, I just get discouraged, to move on.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Rhoda, for sharing. Mary.
Myself, there are many things that I would like to do. Some of them have taken off, and others have not taken off. One of them that have taken off recently, but a lot of interruptions are there, is I love music also myself, just like Ambrose, and I like church. So I was once in a choir sometime when I was still a little younger. When I get into this professional kind of life, I fade out. So recently I was like, you know what, I'm working too late, and what, I need to find time and join the choir just to relax and the other side of it. So for like 10 years, I've never gone back. But like 3 months back, I went back. I was not happy with what I was seeing, obviously, in the church. And there's a small church there near our community church. But today I've actually dodged practice. And I'm feeling that. So that's one of the things. But the other things that is, I want to study. And I have so many ideas in my head. I have never taken off to write those ideas down. That would facilitate my continuation to the program that I would like to go for. So, yeah, you get busy, and all these requests are just bombarding you all the time, and you never sit down to really put what you are thinking on paper, so that you can maybe share it with somebody else to give you views and whatever. So it's something, and I'm still thinking that one of these days I have to do it. I hope I will.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Sibongile.
May I ask Mary? You say you've got a lot of ideas. Which is the one idea that keeps on niggling you all the time? That is the one that is the number one. Because yes, you've got a lot of ideas, but there must be one that is always coming to you.
The one for school is always coming back to me, because I think it's a door for what else I want to do 5 to 10 years later. I think it's the one that I need to do, that it will lead me into whatever else I want to do within 5 to 10 years.
So what is holding you back?
There's so much to do. I think there's so much to do in these things that we do. There's so much that initially I had thought maybe the first 1 hour when I come to work would be a good time for putting down what I'm thinking, then do it today, tomorrow, the other day. By a week or a month, I would have been done with what is on the paper, at least to present it, a concept to somebody else. But that has not taken off. Still, when I come out, I will find somebody else who has worked for me even before. Or you have left work which was not finished the day before, and you are thinking, now that I'm here, I have less interruption, I'll finish this work. So that's some of the things that come up. You stay longer in office, you are thinking you are going to still commit some 1 hour before you go home, and still something else comes up and it has to be done with this deadline, today, close of business, something like that. So it always pops up.
Okay. But then if something is always possible, how long have you been thinking about this? How many years would you say you've been thinking, or how many months have you been thinking about this?
Yes, 2 years.
2 years. If you haven't done it in 2 years, do you think you're going to do it in another 2 months by yourself?
In 2 years, I tried, but not really successful, but I wrote something. But this time I've managed to write something for like a fellowship, which I think will also still be a door to push me to get the real serious kind of paper or concept that I would like to lead me to the kind of school that I would like to go to, or the kind of education that I would like to get. Yeah. So that's going to happen in the next 2 months.
It will happen in the next 2 months.
Yeah, that is going to happen. But I hope
is that a set date that it's going to happen, or is it a hope?
No, not hope. It's going to happen because I've already been admitted. So obviously I've gone through the preparatory things of applying and writing whatever things are required to enter into the fellowship. Okay. So that admission has happened. So if I've accepted, that means I have to create the time to be part of that fellowship and see that I achieve whatever expectations are for me to pass in that fellowship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, thank you for that. Just to go back to some of the things you've highlighted, Ambrose, you talked about wanting to play a musical instrument, particularly a guitar. Rhoda, you talked about how you want to use your expertise to support this school in the rural setting, and Mary has just talked about going back to school and studying. So for me, sometimes when I am thinking about some of these things, which from what John Maxwell calls them, they are good intentions, like things you've always wanted to do but you've never done them. So just to pose it to you, each of you, like on a scale of 1 to 10. So if you have a pen and a paper, just write just on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. How badly do you really want to do that thing that you've talked about? How badly do you want it? Like, is it a 1, which is on the lower side? Is it a 5, which is like in between, or is it a 10? So just rate yourself, and yeah, let's talk about that. So Ambrose, Mary, Rhoda, on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you want to do what you just talked about?
Like an 8.
An 8.
Yeah, and the reason why I give it a very high scale is because part of my social life or my stress times, I will manage it when I listen to something, compose myself. I like it, makes me calm down, makes me relax, makes me concentrate. And so to me, it's something that I think it's of a high priority that I am supposed to do. And looking at the years back, like 4 years back, I had reached quite a good level of it. And then I got too busy when I began studying some other course. So I had no time for it. And then I kept pushing it backwards and backwards, but it still comes up and bothers me a lot. So I feel like it's a high priority.
Okay. Okay. So hold on to that. Let's hear from Rhoda.
Yeah, I'll also give it 8. I'm looking at it as kind of a retirement plan, giving back to the community. I see it as one of my entry points. Yeah.
Okay. So an 8 for you. What about you, Mary?
I would give it 7. Why? Because I still see so many other things that are somehow likely to hinder that. Just like Sibongile, I have family, quite young, and as I commit to this program, if I'm to create the time, likely that I will also compromise on the attention to the family. It's quite young, and I still feel that I need to be at a certain level before I can try to reduce on my time with them. So I would rate it 7.
Okay.
I mean, I feel it's yes, but I still need to take into consideration what effects it would have to the family.
Yeah. Great. Welcome, Elvis. We've missed you. We're wondering what's happening here.
Thank you. But technology was failing me.
We understand. It's the first day, so don't worry. You're not the only one. All of us have gone through that. So we are talking about, we are talking about things you've always wanted to do, and you found us talking about how like badly we want to them on a scale of 1 to 10. So you can also think about something that you've always wanted to do, but you've never done it as of now. As it currently stands, is still what we call a good intention. And then also go ahead and rate, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you want it? So let me go back then to that, just to further that conversation. So Ambrose, and also this will, Rhoda and Mary and Elvis will also give their thoughts about it. So what will it look like if you take that scale from 8 to 9? And for I think Mary, you said 7, from 7 to 8. How will that look like?
I don't know that I've gotten the question very well. How will it look like if I take this from a scale of 8 to 9?
Yes.
It means I have
what will change?
To me, it
Say
means
that again?
That, to me, putting it from scale of 8 to 9 means there is need for me to put in effort to have this done, to have it begin, and put in some effort and resources, basically. And so it becomes very urgent. And so it means that I'll put some things on the side and find time to have this done. Not keep
and how
pushing.
how committed are you to do that?
Also, that is very challenging as of now, because there are things that keep running, but what I'm sure of is that these things can't change. They'll still keep running. They'll move, so I have to create time for this. And even before this began, I was saying that this is something that I have to begin working on before we enter the last quarter of the year. And so that is, I'm going to put it as priority so that I don't keep having excuses, because they're not changing. They'll always be there. Yeah.
Sure. And it's good also you're bringing a timeline there. So you want it to be done by a quarter. Is it the third quarter?
The last quarter of the year.
The last quarter of the year.
Yes.
So that's between, is it October, November, December?
December, yes.
Okay. So can you give a definite maybe date that you think you can start on this journey?
Let me say November. November first week. I'll start.
Okay. Why not October?
Because between now and October, I'll be defending one of my proposals for research. So I'm putting some time into some reading, but around that time, it will basically I'll have some time to invest in this.
Okay. That's a good start. Mary, you are smiling. We are coming to you after Rhoda. Let's hear from Rhoda. Talk to us on what it will look like if you move it from an 8 to a 9.
So to move it from 8 to 9, I think I need to size it down. For example, do I want to start something with the whole school community? Do I want to zero down with a particular class? So I need to just get it down, and then the term is about to end, about 2 weeks to end the term. So I just need to define what is it that I'm going to look at. And having decided what I'm going to look at, is it something that I'm going to do within these 2 weeks, or I can be early for next term in September, when September is starting? That's how I look at it.
Sibongile, what do you hear Rhoda say from what she just shared?
I'm hearing Rhoda expressing fear of not wanting to. That's what I'm hearing. Rhoda, Rhoda, a question I have for you, right? What 3 things can you define that you need to do within the next 2 weeks to be able to define what it is you want to do?
So one of it, what I had started was, there are some teachers who have children. So I was thinking that these teachers, on a monthly basis, I can do something for their babies, though I stopped doing that. The other is I have children in a particular class, so I could start with those teachers. I already had a discussion with them over the visitation of how I can help them, do their work better. Not for them looking at the school to get support, but looking at me as an individual to see how can I support them better. And then the other one was, how do I support the whole teacher body?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do those 3 have financial implications?
They have, but I can control it. For example, whatever to find for the baby, I can either get porridge or get milk. I can control it, and whatever to help the class, I can control what I spend. I can control for the 3 levels.
Okay, because from what you've said, I'm hearing that 2 of them don't really have financial implications. You can do without the financial, but the one has got financial implications. So the question is, what is stopping you from starting the 2 tomorrow? Why can you not be able to help support the teachers in their work?
Wow. Why tomorrow? Trying to look for a response for you.
Do you have a better date in mind that you want to share? When do you have in mind? If not tomorrow.
If not tomorrow. Okay, I give myself over up to the weekend to just during the weekend I'll be near the school, so maybe I'll just concretize what is it that I can start so that I don't keep waiting. Yeah, so maybe Saturday, Sunday would get me a better idea of the kind of start to do something.
Okay. Saturday, Sunday, which one?
Sunday. I'll do my homework on Saturday, so that Sunday is the day when I'm affirming what I'm gonna do.
Okay. All right. So by Sunday, you will have at least 3 things that you'll be able to say, I'm starting this.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, just to rephrase that, what are those? Can you just rephrase those 3 things that you'll do by Sunday? Can you just put that in one statement that I, Rhoda, will?
Mary, we're coming to you.
Yeah, Mary just laughed. We were seeing you.
So you want one statement to represent the 3?
Yeah. Like as a commitment, a statement of commitment. What are you saying you're going to do by Sunday?
So what I thought I'm going to do by Sunday, because one of the things I mentioned is that I need to choose where to start from. So I thought that by Sunday I should have decided which one and then started immediately with what I have to do. One of the 2 ways to look at the children of the teachers who have small children, or look at the teachers who are in this particular class, or look at the teacher body.
So what you're saying is that by Sunday, I, Rhoda, will have decided which project I will be doing.
I think you said it.
Out of the 3 projects. No, but you need to say it. I'm just repeating.
Yeah.
You need to say it.
Yes.
You need to take ownership. Yeah.
Yes, I wrote up by Sunday. Sunday is what? 4th, 5th, yeah. I would have decided which project I'm going to do.
Okay. So that's the first thing. There were 2 others.
No.
Or did you say you're going?
I needed to choose one of the 3.
Oh, one of the 3. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So then after you've chosen out of the 3, when will you start? When will you implement?
So once I have that on Sunday, I usually go to the school every weekend. So once I have that on Sunday, then Monday will be kind of implementing, though delivery might be on the weekend.
Kind of? What do we mean by kind of? It's either you are or you're not.
This is serious. Okay, so on Sunday I'll have on Sunday I would have decided which group to deal with, and then within the week I should have worked on what I'm going to do, so that I either deliver it on the following weekend. I should have. I don't know that I'm clear.
Okay. So correct me if I'm hearing you right. You are saying on Sunday you'll decide on one of the 3 projects, right? By Monday, or is it by Monday or by the middle of the week? By the coming week, you will have put a plan in place. You would have worked onto a plan in terms of implementing by Saturday. Is that correct?
Yes. So
you don't sound sure.
Monday up to Friday, I would be working on what I have already agreed on on Sunday. So on Sunday, I'll understand which projects, and then within the week I will work on it, so that if I haven't delivered within the week, I'll deliver it over the next weekend. So that's good for me. I'm always there over the weekend. So what I'm trying to say, if there is anything I'm going to implement, it's either on Saturday or I do it during the week. So if I'm not able to do it, which is possible, I want to go back during the week. I'll only go back over the weekend. So within the week, I should have organized myself with what I am doing, so that I deliver it on over the weekend. That's the weekend of, sorry, my calendar is far from me, 13th.
Yeah, 13th, yeah. 13th is on a Monday.
Is a Monday, then
yes.
12th, 11th, 12th.
On the 11th?
Yes.
11th? Yes. 11th is a Saturday.
Saturday. Aha, that's fine. That's fine.
Are you writing this down, Rod?
Yes.
You've written everything down?
Yes.
Because this is a promise to yourself.
Yes.
Good. Yeah, and I think everyone should actually have, as I think Bongi mentioned earlier, it will be important to have a journal which will be taking note of some of these things. And you will get to interact more in future, so you can still get to ask these questions in future or subsequent discussion. Let's come to Mary, who was all cracked up about what's happening. Let's hear from you. So yeah, talk to us about what you had in mind from moving it from a 7 to an 8. And then we'll come to Elvis. Okay, Mary, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry. As I had said, that enrolling in the fellowship program is one way to get to whatever I wanted to do, which takes longer. This is a fellowship program is 1 year, and it starts in October. So before that, as part of the requirement, I did a project. And I did to already, before the program starts, to have a topic to study that I will be working through the year. So I'm thinking I need to look at my data, things that I've been working on, and identify topics that could be some of the topics that I would study and take longer during the fellowship program. So that's what I think I need to do, to identify the topics, look through my data, what is available, so that I could write something down and see what gaps are there that I would need to study during the fellowship.
Okay. How long do you think you would need to look through your data?
I need like a month. I need a month, but part of the month is really writing down actually some of the things that have been successful, things where there are still gaps, and that need to be addressed. So I need to write a report which will identify the strength, the areas that have been worked well, and the areas that have not worked well. Okay. That's why I'm saying a month.
Okay.
This August.
So starting which day in August?
Next week, which day?
Okay, let me pull my calendar and then I can read.
I have a calendar, don't worry, I have a calendar.
Okay.
I've got a calendar when I had Rhoda not having one. Okay. 7th, that is Tuesday. I can start with looking at my data, putting up an outline for the report, and start something.
Okay. How long?
Then I'll keep on working on that, develop when I can develop the different areas. I need to have an outline next week, starting 7th, and then I start developing it further. As it will also be helping me to look at the data as I try to write up the narrative for that report. Then I would identify gaps that are still pending that need to be worked on or need to be studied further.
Okay. How long would that take you?
Given that there are some other things that are running, which are actually, they need weekly tracking, I was thinking a month. That would take me a month. They cannot take you another month.
So if you're saying you're starting on the 7th, so it means by the 7th of September, you'll be done.
Yes, I'll be done 7th.
And your outline, how long will it take you to do your outline?
By 14th, 1 week. By 14th, I should be done. Yes.
Okay. You should be or will be?
I will be done.
You'll be done.
Yes.
Are you writing down these dates?
I'm writing down.
Okay. After the outline, what's the next step in your report?
It's to expound the content, the content for the report, because you just structure. The outline is like the structure, so you develop
Expound it.
the sections. Yeah, expound on the different sections of the report, and those also help you to identify the areas that need to be studied further.
Okay. And so that will take you 3 weeks? Or
Yes, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. And then once you identify the topics, what do you need to do?
I will have to identify the modules that I need to study as part of the fellowships. That is in September, that I will need to enroll in to help me study these areas further, and what areas need to be researched on, and what methodologies will be applied.
Okay. When do you have to enroll by?
Enrollment is in October.
October.
Yeah.
Okay. So what date do you want to have your topics ready in September?
Yes, that's when I need to have at least the topics that I need, where I will select one of the topic, maybe or two, that I will need to follow through the year.
Will be the 20th? What date did you say?
For having the topics?
Yes.
Wow. Ah. 3 weeks later, I should have the topic very clear, and maybe concept.
Okay. 3 weeks.
That is around 21st. It is a Friday, 21st September.
21st September.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, Elvis, go ahead.
Yes, sorry, you will have to give me some leads on this since I joined in the middle of the conversation.
All right.
Yes.
I've been a bit quiet, or maybe I should jump in here.
Yeah.
So kindly give me some leads, then I'll take it on from there.
So Elvis, the idea is this: what have you been dragging on doing that you intend to do? I'll give you an example.
Yes, please.
For about 6 years, I have been rearing cows. I bought 2 cows, and they were local breed. In that time, I was only interested in their dung, but I realized they're expensive to maintain. So I figured maybe I need to change these cows into dairy cows. But for those 6 years, I've been looking at them and paying the price, but not necessarily taking the steps. And it's been on my mind ever since. It's only of last week that I think I also decided to be a little more intentional to change.
Yes.
And how it happens, we're actually doing TRAiN, and it was Ministry of Agriculture. So I found these wonderful people who are experts in these things.
Yes.
And while we were discussing, I figure I'm in the room with people who could actually help me. I went and talked to one of them after that and told him about my issues, because I'd been postponing with all those kinds of fears that we all have. They're too expensive, to buy dairy cows. They're hard to maintain. I don't have the time for it, so I'd procrastinate. And it just kept going on and on. I'm too busy, I'm doing other things. And I paid the price eventually. So only last week, I speak to this gentleman who actually tells me that there is a project by government to try to actually change the breeds of cows, and they're looking for farmers to help. And so with all my procrastination, I never stepped out to see if there are alternatives where I could find free help that's not really expensive. This time round, I really took the chance and followed him up. And I think it's about 2 days ago that he sent his people to do an assessment on my small farm to help. And now I also have to, you know, get very intentional about when I should have the first dairy baby on my farm. That's my journey. So it's really that what is it that you've been putting off that you need to address?
Yeah, that is good. Thank you so much. Your name again?
My name is Robert.
Robert. Robert, thank you for my line of aspiration is in your direction. So so what I've been dragging to do, of course, comes as a result of you know, my wife and I are all working parents, and we want a bit to free up and at least maybe have some part-time work. One of us can stay full-time and the other can be part-time. And we've been thinking of, both of us have a passion for farming. So we've been kind of like, maybe the following year, this year, we need to get a farm and do some farming. Something we love and something that would also bring in some income to the family. Maybe one of us would step out and take care of the farming business. Meanwhile, one of us would stay in full-time work. So it's kept dragging, but recently I managed to get some land, which I would lease for some time. And one of the criteria for which we're looking for nearby land where we don't need to travel so far. So we got some 2 acres of land from a friend. So we're going to lease it, and we are going to do a farming project. The things we want to do vegetables, things that grow fast and get a quick return. And of course, given the weather changes, vegetables are easier to manage than something. Though we'll kind of do some mixed farming. So that is something I've been pushing to do. But in very soon, I want to start this project I've been pushing. So I've contacted a few colleagues who have been doing some farming and kind of doing some small research on what, for example, I want to do passion fruits and vegetables. So I've been, I've not talked to the colleague who is doing passion fruits. I was planning actually to call him this evening, but this has come up. I'll call him tomorrow to just understand there's a colleague who is very passionate about passion fruits. He spends most of his weekends on his passion fruit farm. So I'm going to just find out more about the passion fruits. I used to grow in my backyard at home. I had some passion fruits, but they didn't do well. So I realized I need to kind of consult someone who's been doing it well, and then I can roll it out on the piece of land just leased out. So this information, once I gather, I want to move to the farm next week and see what I can quickly start. Vegetables, I want to start growing vegetables next week. So that is the quick. I'm a bit gathering the information so fast since the people on my colleagues. I have a colleague also. One of the gentlemen who are leasing the farm to me actually live nearby, so they'll be helping me with the few logistics. But I need to quickly move since the planting season has just started. So my steps need to move very quick for this project I want to undertake.
I'm happy you say that, Elvis, and you know your case is determined a lot by the season, so you need to move fast. So what is the next immediate thing you need to do now that the planting season has started?
Now the next immediate thing is I'm planning to buy seeds over the weekend. I'm buying seeds, and I'm going to move. I'm going to move to the farm during the week so that I can organize the planting. For vegetables, they're easy to plant, so I'll plant, and then I'll plant the vegetables and the passion fruits. Then the passion fruits, what comes later is the stands, the nets where once they grow, they can lie on that will come later. But so next week I plan to do the planting.
Okay. The nets, you say they come later. When do they come?
Now I plan after, so to say, within 3 weeks, I should have built the nets where the passion will lie.
Okay. Can you give yourself deadlines in terms of dates?
In terms of dates, maybe I would say I plan to plant by the next.
You plan to, or you are planning?
You are planting. Yes, I'm planting on the 11th. Maybe some bits will start. Actually, some bits of the planting will start on the 9th.
Okay.
Yes, some bits of the planting will start on the 9th, but by the 10th, I should be done with planting.
So planting will be done in between the 9th and the 10th?
Yes, in between the 9th and the 10th, yes.
Okay. And the netting will be done when?
And the netting should be done, will be done by the 24th.
By the 24th?
Yes.
Is there anything else that you need to do once you've planted to the vegetables?
Once I've planted, you know, the ground has been cleared. So once we've planted, basically it will be weeding. It will be weeding the garden. That will be the only thing that will be done.
Okay.
Yes.
And are you able to plan for this ahead of time?
I'm going to visit the farm is nearby, so I'm visiting it on Monday. On Monday, the coming Monday, which is the 6th. I'll visit the farm. Yes. Then I'll discuss. I'm going to discuss this with the workers. There are workers already on ground. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gavin?
Okay, good. So generally, I think the idea you can see here is your growth. It might be your personal growth, or but particularly your personal growth is not something that comes naturally. All these things we're talking about, they are things you've always wanted to do, but you've never done them. But now we clearly see that we have to take initiative because personal growth is not natural to most people. It has to be driven with intentionality, which is basically what you're talking about in this first law, that it does not just happen, it has to be caused to happen. And that's why you have to choose to be intentional. But before we just kind of just bring this towards a close, there's a statement in the book that I want to get your comments, and then we'll just possibly take time to talk about the various gaps. And I want to hear your thoughts about this statement. It says, yeah.
One moment. There seems to be somebody else on. Denise?
Oh, yeah. Is this Denise, Coach Denise?
Yeah.
Hi. Hello, Denise.
I guess she's not there. Okay.
Okay.
Denise is one of our coaches, yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Good. Yeah. So the statement is, and John Maxwell says, if you focus on goals, you may hit the goals, but that doesn't guarantee growth. If you focus on growth, you will grow and only hit growth. What comes to mind when you hear that statement, and how would you differentiate goals from growing?
Differentiating goals from growing.
Mm-hmm.
Goals is more like heading towards pushing, balancing between where you want to be and how you want to be there. You know, you have a goal towards some direction, but growth kind of is incremental. Growth is something you structure. So you take a step at a time when you aspire to do something. Growth is kind of, it doesn't come in one instant. So that's the key difference. I would say growth is incremental. You could have incremental growth, but goals are the things you aspire to do to take you somewhere.
Thank you, Elvis. Mary?
Mary, yeah. I'm thinking that the goals, it's where you want to be. But as you try to get there, you are learning something and you are growing. What you maybe the steps you have taken, maybe reading up something, there are things that you are picking up along the way to help you get there, but you're also getting to learn many more things beyond achieving what you are trying to achieve, which skills can help you even do some other things beyond just getting to the goal, and then you're like, okay, I've got it, it's done.
Ambrose?
Ambrose. Yes, to me, growth is the whole package that you get from being able to put up goals and achieve them. So goals basically are subsets of growth. But you realize that even when you have attained some level of growth, then goals become easy to it's easy to put goals and also achieve them. So basically, in simple terms, you set goals, so many goals as you grow, and as you achieve them, you attain growth.
Rhoda?
I am thinking similarly to what Mary was thinking, that the goal, I mean, you set something, you set somewhere you want to reach, and then the, growing at the processes, you know, that you are going through in trying to achieve the goal. For example, if the goal was to have 10 meetings, you know, there are processes to have the 10 meetings. You need to interact with people, and as you are interacting with people, you kind of learn their skills that you learn, their character that is being built as you're working towards achieving your goal.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think we can, going back to your expectations when you first started, Rhoda, you said you wanted to discover yourself, right, as part of it. Do you believe that you might have started on that journey?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes.
Why do you say yes?
I mean, when you are sharing, that's when I begin to recall some of the things that I've been having. For example, like supporting these teachers in the urban. I didn't know, you know. I didn't know, as in it is that simple with me. Whatever I want to do is around me, it's near me.
It's within you.
Yeah, it's within me.
Okay, great. And then Mary, you said you wanted to take off and to help yourself set goals. Have you started that journey now? I can't hear you, Mary. You're muted.
I've started the journey, so I'm going to take off.
You're taking off. Okay. And you've set goals.
Yes, and timelines.
And timelines. Okay,
Yeah.
great. And Ambrose, you said you wanted to prioritize and achieve. How are we doing there?
Oh, thank you very much. Through the whole discussion, I understood that actually it's me with the decision to prioritize goals. And by knowing the things that I will not change, they will continue moving in my life, my family will stay, my children will stay, my work will stay. But the activities have to be able to fit in by how I put them, timelines, and be able to achieve them. I feel energized and I'll work on this, promise.
Okay, fantastic. Gavin, do you have anything else to say before we close?
I think from the video, Elaine had highlighted some of the gaps maybe just we can take a few minutes to just talk about which gap do you think you possibly kind of has stunted your growth or has not helped you attain what you want to attain. So there were 8 of them. So I'm actually going to share them on my screen so you can have a look at them. So each of these 8 gaps really spoke to you, like in terms of where you find yourself caught up in that gap or that trap. Was it the assumption gap where you think, oh, I assume I'll automatically grow? Can you all see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, or is it the knowledge gap where you're talking about I don't know how to grow, or the timing gap where you think it's not the right time yet to start, or the mistake gap where you're very afraid to start because you're fearing you're making a mistake or you'll make a mistake. Closely related to that is the perfection gap where you want to get the right way to do something. And then the inspiration gap where you don't just feel like your emotions are not in the direction of what you want to do. And then the comparison gap where you're looking at yourself and others. And then the expectation gap, which crowns it all, where you thought it would be easier to grow. So which of those kind of spoke to you as a person? So who's ready to go?
Mary is ready to go.
Yes.
I find the perfection gap speaking to me a lot. I keep on thinking, yes, I would like to do this, but I need to first do this, have it right. Yeah, I think it does.
Thank you, Mary.
For me, when I look at the knowledge gap, I don't know how to grow. I would like to say, not really knowledge, but it's more of an awareness. Really, you have knowledge, but you are unaware. I think that's what really spoke to me.
Yes. Elvis?
Okay, I'm trying to see something close. For me, the biggest gap has been kind of a preoccupation with one thing and not being able to free up to do the other things that I have been aspiring to do. So I'm trying to see maybe something related to the timing gap. You say, okay, I'm still doing this one thing. Once I free up from doing this, then I'll take on this other thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And Ambrose?
Well, thank you. All the gaps speak, I think, to me in so many different ways and for different activities. But I would say generally, assumption gap has, it sticks to my mind very clearly. Not that I assume that I will automatically grow, but I assume that everything will fall into place. So I feel like even the limited effort or the attitude towards it, it will fall into place at some point. Like when you're growing up, you see things fall into place. This comes. But I realize that actually that they don't just fall into place. There's need for an effort, need for something, for beginning on something for it to work out. So an assumption gap speaks to me quite clearly.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, I mean, the important thing here is that you were able to identify some of the gaps. Now comes the intentionality in that you now need to start moving, knowing that these are the gaps where I'm falling short of, which is holding me back. So you have to become more intentional in whatever you're doing, taking cognizance that this is an area where I'm failing at. Does it make sense? Yeah. But I really appreciated the way you all were honest and were actually vulnerable, because when you show your vulnerability, it's when you start to begin to grow. Okay, thank you very much. Gavin?
Maybe as we bring this to a close, maybe just to pick out from each of you, what was your highlight of all the discussion we've had today, and what are you committing to do? And especially because next week we hope you'll be there with the other coaches, so you pick it up from there. But yeah, so what will be your highlight, and what can you report you've been able to just action based on that highlight?
Mary.
I think from my expectation and from what I've said I will be able to do after this class, you will note that taking off was an issue. And obviously, I've always prioritized other people's things, and they always clog my time when I've tried to plan. I think as we take on this 10 weeks, for now, taking off is the main thing. Being able to take off and so that I prioritize, intentionally start something. It's something that I think I'm taking out of this class.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Elvis?
Yes, one thing is just to carry on from Mary. Being intentional is one thing, I need to do more. There are times you get clogged with so many other things, and you kind of have a disruption not to be intentional about the things you aspire to do, or the things you aspire to be. So this is something that it's kind of mind clearing, that I need to be more intentional in my aspirations, as I aspire to achieve whatever I want to do. I need to kind of have that focus. And also start to move, The first step is what matters. If you don't take the very first step, that's why I've been pushing this farming thing. I said, okay, next week I need to carry it on, So that first step will be the start of this journey, which I'm looking forward to.
Okay. Thank you. I wish you all the best, Elvis.
Thank
and
you.
Rhoda.
Sure.
So one, everyone has said being intentional, and then two, focusing. For example, I said to develop myself, to discover myself. I realize it's all within me, all around me. So just focus. For example, what I have committed to do, let me focus and do that in the timeline that I have agreed.
Just be a Nike and just do it.
Yeah, and do it right away.
Yes. And Ambrose.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm very happy for this discussion. I was reading on the chat line, and the last one is very interesting. Time comes when you need to stop waiting for the man you want to become.
Yes.
Instead of being the man you want to be. So I basically want to stop waiting on that. But rather start on being the person I want to be. And today is very critical to stop pushing things forward. But rather, even during this discussion, I when Gavin was saying, can't you do it earlier? Then I need to push it further. I was still finding reasons to push it further, which I think becomes a very big problem. We need to, what I get from this is we need to make things happen, not waiting for them to happen, but to start making things happen. Thank you.
No, fantastic. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Is there any comments, any further comments before we close?
Mary would like to thank the coaches. It was very serious.
What did you expect, Mary?
Yeah, so
that's our work.
thanks so much. I think we are going to take off.
Yeah, it's been our pleasure and our honor, and we thank you as well. We are honored to serve you.
Thank you. We appreciate.
Maybe a parting shot from me, and then maybe Bongi and then Robert. I think I just want to share part of something for you on the screen, which captures, I think, the essence of what you're talking about. I mean, preparation, which is growth. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So preparation, adding to attitude, and then opportunities, which are always there, and then plus action. That's what people define as lack, which is basically what the expectation gap was talking about. So if we prepare and then we have a positive mental disposition, then opportunities will always come our way, and then we act in the direction of those opportunities, then we will definitely do more than lack. So yeah, I look forward to hear those achievements. Some of those things, it's good. Robert was noting some of those things down. And just to close with a quote from the book, it says, "No one improves by accident. Personal growth doesn't just happen. You have to cause it to happen." So let's be intentional about it, and yeah, make a difference in our lives and the lives of others. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
Well, I think Gavin has summed it all up, but mine is just to say thank you again. Thank you for taking your time and being with us this evening. And I wish you all the best in your growth and all the best in all your projects and everything that you're doing. And we hope to hear great things about you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Robert?
Yes, we learn that leadership and generally growth doesn't happen in a day. It happens daily. We need to continue learning. So we look forward to seeing you in the next session, sometime next week.
Yeah, just to remind you, please watch the video that will be done by the coach and come ready to pour your best. The idea behind this kind of group is Mary brings her thoughts, Elvis, Ambrose, and all of us, and we end up kind of coming with better ideas of implementing some of these things. So preparation is key. So yeah, just do your bit, listen to the video, and just come ready with questions and just be ready to apply what you're learning. Is Julius on? I can see Julius has been here. He wants to say anything? Julius? Maybe not. Good. Yeah. So thank you very much from Nairobi. Yeah. Kwaherini.
Asante sana.
Asante sana.
Asante.
Pitani Mwino.
Yeah, that's from Swaziland. Or is it the kingdom of what?
That was from Malawi. I'm in Swaziland, but I'm Malawian.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Hamba
Okay.
Totsing, South Africa.
Whoa, okay. Yeah, we learn a lot. Okay, bye everyone. Thank you for having us.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you too.
Wow.